So how can we build real-time computer vision applications that can recognize objects in a video stream in order to perform facial recognition, motion tracking, object detection, or gesture recognition? Folks, Nitin here, and this is the AI University channel. In this video, I'm going to introduce to you OpenCV module, which is a cross-platform library of function and is free for use, making it easy for anyone to utilize and modify the code. It supports the deep learning frameworks such as TensorFlow, Torch, PyTorch, and Caffe. At the end of the video, I'm also going to tell you about two other different ways apart from RGB color format and grayscale to represent an image too. So watch this video till the end. If you are new here, then consider subscribing to this channel, or if you have already subscribed, then click on the bell icon to receive the notifications about hottest technologies of 21st century. Please show your love and support by liking, sharing and subscribing to this video, as I will feel highly motivated. Also, we now have the AI University app and the website, which is in beta mode right now. You can download the code related to the Jupyter notebooks by enrolling to this course right here on the AI University website. You can access the related quizzes and certificate of course completions like this from the AI University once I upload all the videos and once you complete all the tutorials including final quiz. So let's now move on to OpenCV. Well, OpenCV was launched in 1999 for the first time as an Intel initiative. OpenCV stands for Open Source Computer Vision and it is written in C++ language. It supports operating systems such as Windows, Linux, as well as Android and Mac OS. Python is the most preferred language to use OpenCV. It has a library of over 2,500 optimized algorithms associated with computer vision and machine learning algorithms. In fact, OpenCV machine learning library contains ML algorithms like decision trees, random forest, k-nearest neighbor, gradient boosting trees, naive Bayes classifier, deep neural networks, etc. So enough of the theory. So let's move on to the Jupyter notebook to do some hands-on with OpenCV to see how we work with images. In order to use OpenCV, you need to first install it, and that's what we are doing here. So the command to install OpenCV is pip install OpenCV-Python. So just open the terminal or Anaconda prompt and type this command pip install OpenCV-Python, press enter, and your module or library will be installed. Alternatively, you can type the command here just like I have written here in the Jupyter notebook. All you need to do is just prefix the pip with the exclamation sign here, and once you run this cell, this particular library will get installed in a desired directory via Jupyter notebook itself. So you don't need to open any command line editor. It's just that you need to type the command here in the cell and just run this cell, and this library will be installed. Once it gets installed, you can then type the command import cv2 and import numpy as np. Numpy is being used to perform mathematical array operations or any other operations, and cv2 is the OpenCV module we have just installed. Now if you want to load any image using OpenCV, then you can use this command here, right here. So we have this function IamRead function associated with OpenCV, using which we can load or read the image. And inside these brackets, I'm just providing the path of the image within quotes. So when we execute this cell, our image gets stored in the variable called as image underscore data. In the next cell, I'm showing you how can you check the dimensions of the image. We can use a shape function to check the height and width of an image in the pixel form. So when I run this cell, you can see that we have got this tuple. Okay, so the first parameter is height, which is 425, and 425 is the height in pixels of this image. 640 is the width, and number 3 represents the color channel, which is RGB or BGR, red, green, blue, or blue, green, red. Either way you can write. And as we know that number 3, the color channel number 3 represents the colored image. Had it been 1, then this image would have been treated as grayscale image. So let's move on to the next cell. Here we are trying to display the loaded image. The function we use to display the image is IamShow. This function takes 2 arguments. First argument is the title of the image, which is first image, and which will be displayed on top of the image when we run this cell. And the second argument is the variable which stores the image, which is in our case is image data. Then the next command is wait key, which is used to either open the image window for certain duration or to keep it open and wait for the user input. So when the user either presses escape or clicks on the cross mark, then it will be closed. I will explain about it shortly. So the next command is destroy all windows, which closes any open windows. If you don't mention this command, then your application or program will be hanged. So let me run these cells one by one to explain the concept. Okay. So when I run the cell, you can see the image got displayed here. Okay. So first it was loaded here, and then you can see that there is still a star because this image is still open. So star in here, right here. Okay, so this is because this image is still open and I have not closed it. So this IamShow function, what it does is it just shows this image, okay, which is loaded here, and you can see that the title of the image is first image here. Now since the wait key function has 0 value inside the bracket here, as you can see here, hence it is waiting for the user input to take any action on the window. 0 is the special value, that means forever. So wait for user input forever. So I can just click on this close mark and you can see that there is no more star here. Okay. Now let me change its value to 6000. Okay. So 6000 is nothing but represents 6000 millisecond or 6 seconds. So if I execute this cell, the window will be opened and it will be closed automatically once 6 second time is over. So as you can see, that window is closed automatically. So this way you can just mention any number here if you want this image to get open for certain period of time. And once again, 6000 represents 6000 millisecond or 6 seconds. Now let me tell you one more thing here. There is a flag value associated with IamRead function. And there are times when we want to make an image a grayscale image, because in computer vision there are a lot of areas where you need to first change your color image to grayscale image. So in order to do so, we just pass another argument called as IamRead_grayscale inside IamRead function. We can also represent this flag value with just one numeric value called as 0, just like shown here. So this is the same code as above with only difference of this parameter. If I run this cell, you will see that our image will be changed to grayscale image. So let me run it. So you can see that image has been changed to grayscale. Now if you want to keep the image as colored image, then either remove this value 0, make it like this, or replace it with 1. Okay. So let me run this cell again by replacing this value 0 with 1. So you can see that image is colored image now. Now let me remove this parameter and rerun this cell once again. You can see that image is still the colored image. So this is the way you can play around with the texture of the image within IamRead function. Now there is another way we can convert a color image to a grayscale image, and we use another function called as CVT color, just like shown here. And inside this function we pass two parameters or arguments. One is the name of the image file or variable, which is in our case is image underscore data. And second argument is parameter called as color underscore BGR to gray, which essentially conveys that we want to convert a color image denoted by BGR to grayscale. So let me run this cell and you can see that image has been converted to grayscale. So the method mentioned in the previous cell here saves the typing time or extra code, because we just need to mention 0 inside IamRead and it will do the same task for converting the color image to gray. You might be wondering what is the need to convert a color image to grayscale. Well, as I told you earlier, it's much easier to work with grayscale image as compared to color image, because grayscale images store less information but keeping all necessary components or segments of the image intact. Also, a lot of OpenCV function works efficiently on grayscale images. Finally, let's now see how do we save the images using OpenCV. We use a function called as IamWrite function to save any image. Inside this function, we pass two parameters again. One is the name of the file with which we want to save this image to, and in our case it is out underscore image.jpg. And second argument is the name of the file, which in our case is image underscore data. When I ran the cell, I got the indicator value as true, which means that image has been saved. And indeed, I got one JPG file created with the name out image.jpg in my directory. Now, since you have waited enough to see two other ways to represent an image, so let me tell you about it. These two color spaces to represent the color of the images are HSV, which stands for hue, saturation and value. And if you are wondering what color spaces are, then let me tell you that these are nothing but different ways of storing color images on computer. Another color space is CMYK, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow and K stands for black. CMYK is commonly used in inkjet printers. The combination of RGB light creates white, while the combination of CMYK ink creates black. We don't have to go in detail right now, and I will cover remaining details whenever need be in the later videos. For now, just remember that we have these color spaces as well. So folks, this is it for this video. In the next upcoming video, I will cover another important topic of the computer vision using OpenCV series. So here is the today's question. What is the need of converting a color image to grayscale when building computer vision algorithms? Please post your answers, comments in the comment section given below so that I can get a chance to incorporate your feedback. You can also post your technical questions in the comment section and I will try to answer the same. If you are watching this video and you are not already a subscriber to our channel, consider clicking that little subscribe button. In case you have already subscribed, then click on the bell icon to receive the notifications whenever I will release a new video. So thanks for hanging out with me guys. I will be covering next topic in the upcoming video, so keep on watching. Thank you.